भुविदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्. Last Sunday we were discussing the last 2-3 verses of the 3rd chapter, particularly dealing with the various layers of the human personality. You find this concept of layers even in physical science or physics, dealing with the material world. There is a surface layer. Deeper down, you find other aspects of the physical system. And the deepest, today, you find nuclear dimension and nuclear energy. Our sages took up man as a subject of study. Is this man exactly what I see him with my eyes? What the senses report? Is there a depth to this personality? What a profound subject for study. And what tremendous conclusions came out of that study, conclusions which the advanced countries of the world today are eager to come in touch with. Krishna is dealing with those ideas in these verses, dealing with human behavior, especially criminal behavior. Subject was, why should man commit crime and sin? He doesn't want to do it, but still he does it. Then we discussed the rajas character of the human mind, out of which will come tremendous external activity, external seeking, all this. Out of that also will come good deeds, evil deeds. Both will come. It is good to know the theology of crime and the technique by which that crime can be avoided. That is the second part of this 7-verse treatment by Sri Krishna. How to avoid this crime in society. He said there are 3 layers of the human personality, piercing which you come to your true self, the Atman. We discussed these 3 layers, particularly the 3 layers which are mentioned in the Gita, 5 layers mentioned in the Taittiriya Upanishad: sense organs, mind, and buddhi or rational faculty. These are the 3: Indriyani, Mano, Buddhi. In that context, I referred last week to the word para used in the verse. Indriyani paranyahu. Indriyas are superior, higher. Superior to what? That I said last Sunday. Superior to the sensory objects which the senses perceive. This is a perceiver, that's an object. This is a subject, that is an object. Therefore, here there is a new value present, which is not there. So the word para comes here. Indriyani paranyahu. Indriyebhya param manaha. Superior or higher to the sense organs is manas, this mind. Manasastu para buddhi. Superior to manas is buddhi, discriminative faculty, which determines what is what. It's a tremendous value in the human system, about which Krishna referred in the 2nd chapter, Buddhi Yoga, Yoga of Buddhi. At the level of Buddhi, life becomes tremendous, highly successful, leading to the higher spiritual realization. And beyond the Buddhi, higher than the Buddhi, is he the self of man, the infinite Atman. That is how the shloka ended. Yo buddhe paratastu saha. Beyond buddhi is he, the infinite one, the Shiva nature that is in all of us. That is the shloka. What does this word para mean? So last Sunday I said, I shall devote this Sunday to deal with the subject of this word para as expounded by that tremendous philosopher, spiritual teacher, Shankaracharya. By the five senses, all sense data form the basis of all physical science. But when you finish that study, the finger begins to turn towards yourself. Man's consciousness, man as a subject, man as a knower, a profounder mystery is lurking there. Till now, modern physical science never understood this truth. But now, in this 20th century, with all the revolutionary advances, this subject is slowly coming on the horizon of modern science, that consciousness has a part to play in our understanding of quantum phenomena. A scientist will put it that way. Therefore, a new dimension of awareness, a new dimension of reality is opening up before physical science. Vedanta anticipated this and said, after the Parak Tattva is studied, study also Pratyak Tattva. Tattva means truth or reality. Parak Tattva is nature outside. Pratyak Tattva is nature within me. What is that? You should know that also. That's a big field of study by itself. And today, the study of consciousness is a big study in Western psychology. Till now it was not there. Even Julian Huxley had said, we have only scratched the surface of this subject of the mind. Now that subject is becoming more and more important from various points of view. Theoretical point of view, when you study physics and biology, you come across this truth of something profound within man himself. Practical point of view is the human situation. So distorted human psyche, because of the high technological development, we can't ignore this subject any longer. If you want peace, if you want a fulfilled life, study your own mind and consciousness. It is there you will get it, not by adding more gadgets, more of consumer tendencies. You are not going to get it. This kind of a compelling reason from practical experience also brings up the importance of this subject. And so, these two words, Parak, Pratyak, nature has these two dimensions. Don't study only one. You must study both. Our sages studied first the Parak dimension, the world outside. Then only they studied the Pratyak dimension. And therefore they got a unifying vision of reality, the total reality, that Advaitic vision, a wonderful word, non-duality, non-separateness, one reality, which appears as nature outside and man's consciousness within. So Advaitic vision came only because they investigated both the Parak aspect and the Pratyak aspect. So we call this Pratyagatma, Pratyak Swarupa, Pratyak Tattva. All these words come in Vedantic literature. The beautiful idea, the truth that is within you. What is the truth that is just pulsing there? Look at the eyes of a newborn baby. Some depth dimension is revealed through those eyes. What is the truth? You have to find out. Take a doll baby. Look at its eyes. There is no depth at all, only the surface. Any living baby, its eyes will reveal a profound depth. It is this investigation that revealed to the sages these coverings of that real Pratyak Tattva that is within you. Therefore the word Tattva comes here. That is also Tattva, but the truth about nature. We see nature, the senses reveal some aspect of nature, but the truth of it. So search for truth is both in external nature as well as in internal nature. Both are search for truth in the two dimensions of nature. Some 5 or 6 years ago in Chicago, we had a special meeting, public meeting, where this subject was discussed by two of us, Dr. S. Chandrasekhar, the famous astrophysicist of the Chicago University, and myself. He spoke, search for truth in science. I spoke, search for truth in Vedanta. Both are search for truth. So the word Pratyak and Parak are significant words. So we have studied a lot of the Parak aspect of nature. Now the Pratyak aspect is slowly looming on the horizon of physical science. Teilhard de Chardin, that famous scientist and Jesuit father, who died a few years ago, wrote in his book, The Phenomenon of Man, which carries a foreword by Sir Julian Huxley. He said, nature has a within dimension also, not only a without dimension. Till now, science thought only that nature has only one without dimension. Today, we are understanding better. You can never deny this within dimension of nature. There you find the word Pratyak coming in. Parak is already there, Pratyak also coming in. So in this Pratyak dimension, you find first comes this body, inert body, like any inert matter outside. This inert body becomes alive, becomes energized by some energy. That is the bioenergy coursing through the human system and every living system. That is what comes as a sensory system. Every animal has sensory system. Eye, ear, touch, everything these animals have. We also have this sensory system. Probably the animal senses are much more keen than ours. Ours is more blunt because we have got higher faculties also beyond this sensory system. But this is the first. Indriyani, Paranyahu. Compared to the objects outside, this human sensory system is higher, superior. In what way? Sukshma, Mahantascha, Pratyagatma Bhutascha. I am sitting on a chair. This body sitting on a chair. This is the subject, that is the object. With respect to the chair, body is a subject. You don't carry the chair on your head. So, in the mental hospital, people do that. When they are not in their normal state of mind, carrying a whole chair on the head. But normally, that is an object to be used by you. You are the subject. In that context, this body becomes the subject. So it is actually an object. But in that particular context, it becomes a subject. Then the body also becomes an object, behind which is the sensory system. That is much more yourself than the body. Body becomes alive because of that. So, Paranyahu, more Sukshma, more Mahantascha, more Pratyagatma Bhutascha. These are the three words. Subtle, immense in range and power, and more your own true self, inner self. Pratyagatma means inner self. So we discussed the first category among the three, the sensory system. When you go to the manas, you find it is much more subtle than the sensory system, more immense in range and power, and more inward as the inner self of man. That is manas. We have seen how the sensory system depending upon our nervous system. If you cut away nerve, the whole sensory system dies away. That nerve energy is wonderful. But if the mind fails, nerve energy also will fail. Psychic breakdown, when it takes place, your body is quite fit and fine, sensory system is quite fit and fine, doctors will certify you are all right, but you are not all right. Your psyche has failed. That contains more energy. Therefore, Sukshma, Manas is first of all more subtle than the sensory system. In fact, according to the great neurologist Sir Charles Sherrington, one of the greatest neurologists of the modern period, the Manas is so subtle that it is not an object of observation. You cannot observe the mind. You can observe only the activities of the mind and their impact upon the bodily system. Mind will remain beyond observation forever, he said. We can never observe the mind through the sensory system because it is the mind's energy that functions through the sensory system. The senses can see things outside there, not what is behind itself. That is the difficulty of sensorily verifying the human mind. In today's neurology, therefore, the materialistic scientists among the neurologists, they deny the mind. It's only the brain. It's only the nervous system. Because there's no evidence. They say, we can't see. We have examined every bit of it. We don't find any trace of mind anywhere. We don't need it at all. That is the materialistic conclusion. If that is so, how shall we study the human behavior? Study behavior, external behavior. From that you infer what is inside going on. So behavioristic science came from Watson in the beginning. And now there are very many scholars and scientists in America and Europe who deal with the subject of behaviorism. As against it, mind was affirmed behind the brain by psychologists like Freud and others. They developed psychoanalysis into the depth of the human mind, those various subconscious impressions that are there. Let us study by studying external behavior. A little deeper it went. Then came Abraham Maslow, who died a few years ago, who developed still deeper. He wrote his book, Psychology of Being. Behind this physical system is a tremendous psychic energy point. That is real man there, psychology of being. In this way, there also you will find this inward penetration, and they only echo what our great sages had said about it long ago. So, the manas, though it is not palpable, you can't touch it, you can't handle it. The nervous system you can handle, and the sensory system you can handle, eyes, ears, everything. But the manas cannot be handled, and yet it is there. It contains much more energy than the sensory system. If manas is weak, sensory system goes down. In this way, they found manas is more subtle, more immense in range and power, and more near to being your inner self. Sukshma, Mahantascha, Pratyagatma Bhutascha. Then you come to Buddhi, the third attribute in the system. That Buddhi is far more subtle, far more immense in range and power, far more truly your own self than either the sensory system or the psychic system. That is Buddhi. Sukshma, Mahantascha, Pratyagatma Bhutascha. So these three we can study. And one truth that comes out of it, as I said earlier, the more inward you go, the more energy resources you find in yourself. Take the external muscle. There is energy in it. We can lift a thing. A child goes on pulling and pushing things to develop its muscular energy. It's beautiful. but it is nothing, because one small nerve fiber, very subtle, behind that muscle, gives energy to that muscle. If that nerve fiber is cut, muscle is dead. So muscle energy is not a very high class of energy. We have so little energy from the muscle point of view. A bull has more energy, and a horse has still more energy. That's why in physics we study bull energy power, horse power, and not manpower. Manpower we shall deal with in a general class. Muscular energy, when you study, better to study the bull. 10 times a man is a bull, 10 times a bull may be a horse. That's called muscular energy. Now this muscular energy is nothing today compared to the big rockets that we have created containing million horsepower energy. Human intelligence has created such wonderful rockets which can stand for millions and millions of muscle energy. That is what we have discovered today. So muscle energy is good, but not so high in quality and in quantity, and it is gross. But as soon as you go to the nervous system, you find more subtle, but more immense in range and power. So more energy in the nerve. A man may be thin and lean, muscle is very little, but the nerve energy is very strong. We have seen so many people, a Gandhi's body, muscular, very poor muscular system, but some tremendous nervous energy is there. Real energy is nerve energy. If your nerve is strong, you are strong. Therefore, this sensory system is superior to all the other energies that you have in the world. But psychic energy is still higher. As I said, the psyche fails, everything fails. Psychic breakdown is an experience from which some people suffer. What happens to that person? Absolutely helpless like a baby that person becomes when the psyche fails. I have seen a person, a brilliant mind, when his psyche failed, he behaved like a baby. He won't go to office. I had to take him to the office and put him on the chair. As I returned, he also ran back and sat under his own cot in the house. Just absolutely full of fear in the world. That's called psychic breakdown. And so what has happened to this muscle, the nerve? Everything is there, intact, but there is no energy. It has been drained away in psychic breakdown. Then comes breakdown of buddhi. The whole of life is destroyed when the buddhi is destroyed. Krishna will say here, buddhinashat pranashyati. We studied in the second chapter. When the buddhi is destroyed, discriminative faculty is destroyed, your whole life is destroyed. So buddhi contains immense energy resources. It is still more subtle and it is nearer to the self. In fact, it is considered to be nearest to the self. Nedishtham Brahma. Brahman is within you. Next to that is buddhi, close to it. Only buddhi doesn't know it. Buddhi is concerned with the report of the sensory system and the manas. Buddhi has no time to look back and see what is behind itself. But when it does so, it realizes what a wonderful truth it is. Infinite energy is within me, not this limited one which I have in my buddhi, in the manas, or in this sensory system. Beyond the buddhi, therefore, is infinite energy. These are all finite, though comparatively more and more. As it becomes subtle and subtle, it becomes more and more. But even at the level of buddhi, highly limited packet of energy. But behind the buddhi, you buddhe paratastu saha. That Atman is para to buddhi. There, Shankara says, this sukshmatva, mahatva, pratyagatma bhotatva achieve their infinite value in the self, in the Atman. What is limited here becomes unlimited. That every human psychophysical system is a small quantum of explicit energy and an infinite quantum of implicit energy. What is explicit is found in the body, muscle, nerve, mind, buddhi. What is implicit is lying behind. So every one of us is handling a small packet of energy, though behind it there is infinite energy and we do not know it. Vedanta wants to tell every human being there is such a fund of energy within you. Last Sunday I said that this Atman is always free. No sin can tarnish it. No evil can touch it. No crime can touch it. That is our true nature. Nitya Shuddha, Nitya Buddha, Nitya Mukta is the Atman. That is the supreme truth conveyed by Vedanta to all humanity. That announcement I referred to last Sunday by quoting that famous verse from Shvetashvatara Upanishad, where the sage addresses the whole of humanity as Amritasya Putraha. You are all children of immortality, not children of sin, not children of mortality. That is your true nature. You may say, I don't know it. Not knowing doesn't abolish truth. Remember that. Because I don't know, does it abolish the truth? Not at all. I didn't know the earth was round long ago, but the earth was still round. We only discovered the truth. So you don't create truth, you only discover truth. So here is that profound truth discovered by the great sages on behalf of the whole of humanity. Mind you, it said that this Atman is ever free, ever pure, and nothing can tarnish it. Nothing can make it impure. The Gita said, previous verse, that sin or crime can infect the sensory system, the psychic system, and the buddhi. It can never infect the Atman. One point in yourself is absolutely ever free, ever pure. Therefore, I said last Sunday, our redemption is built into ourselves. We are already redeemed in our true nature. We have to know this truth. Others can help us. Even a holy man can help us. Even an incarnation of God can help us to understand this truth. None can destroy that truth. Shankara says in the Gita commentary, not even God can destroy the real self of man. This is the language. Not even God can destroy the real self in man. It is eternal, immortal, infinite. That is our true nature. So, these three ideas, Sukshma, Mahantascha, Pratyekatma Bhutascha, reach their infinite dimension in the Atman. What a beautiful conception, that somewhere within ourselves is a focus of absolute purity, absolute sinlessness, absolute energy resource, somewhere within ourselves. We have to draw upon it. We draw mostly from the muscle. Ordinary working people, they draw energy from the muscle. Intellectual workers, they draw from their intellect. They don't go deeper. Therefore, intellectuals quarrel and fight among themselves more than anybody else. Even physical people don't do that much as intellectuals do. They don't know deeper. But when you go deeper and get a glimpse of this infinite Atman, which is the same in all beings, one infinite pure consciousness in you, in me, in all, then the whole life becomes changed. This buddhi, this manas, this sensory system become invested with a new purity, with a new quality of love and compassion. What a change comes to this system when a bit of that energy comes into these energy levels. What a wonderful idea. Quantity is not a big word. It is not a great value. Quality is superior to quantity. Even in the human body, big muscles, quantitatively very high. Similarly, the secretions of the body, For example, the liver system, the biggest organ. Plenty of secretions are there. They are all needed for the body functioning. But there are trace secretions, hardly a fraction of a drop coming from some other organs in the body, like the pituitary and other organs. Just a trace secretion. They balance the body. They make this body function effectively. If they are removed, everything will get upset here. So it's not the quantity that is important, quality. That wonderful quality of energy which can make all other energies function at their highest and best. That is the nature of the body. Similarly, this infinite Atman, which is smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest, that's the language used in Vedanta. Ano Raniyan Mahato Mahiyan. The Atman can be as small as an ant, as big as an elephant, as big as the sun, can be everywhere. Ano Raniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Space and limitation do not apply to the reality which is beyond the sensory level. Just like this space in the hall. We are trying to limit it by these two walls. But the space never gets limited. The wall doesn't limit space. Inside space, outside space is still one. It looks as if you are divided, that's all. Not really speaking. So the Atman cannot be divided. The Gita will say in the 15, 16 chapters, when you go there, Avibhaktam Vibhakteshu Vibhaktam Ivachasthitam. This Atman exists in all divided things as if divided, but itself undivided. Atman is not divided in you and me. Avibhaktam Vibhakteshu, in these divided things. That is the idea of man's true nature, which is also the true nature of the whole universe. There's a profoundest discovery based on which Gita is giving you a philosophy of life and action based on the highest truth. Why should I base my life and action on a lower truth? Why not I base it on the highest truth? Gita takes therefore that highest truth expounded in the Upanishad and brings out the practical implications of that truth in your life and my life. In this section, on one particular subject, this philosophy is applied. How to overcome criminal tendency in man. How to reduce crime in society. So many teachings came to us in that connection. And the last one is this, that between the three, Indriyas, Manas, Buddhi, they may all get infected by crime. Indriya first, Manas later, Buddhi still later. All infection can come. But the Atman can never be infected. Therefore, everybody has a future. Everybody can be redeemed. Man's freedom is built into man himself. But it is good not to wait so far. When the infection of the sensory system detected, try to remove it before it catches the mind. And you can see in your day-to-day life how infection of the sensory system slowly creeps into the mind. Mind is distorted. Whole thinking changes. Behavior changes. Just like a little pride entering into the mind. Whole behavior changes accordingly. Man becomes arrogant. Till now he was such a nice man. Today he has become arrogant. These are all everyday happenings in human life because we are not alert. We are not watching what is happening within us. We are concerned more what is going on there than here. Here a big change is taking place. A good man is become bad. An honest man is becoming corrupt. These are going on every day. We didn't care for it. And the result is suffering all round. In a very corrupt society, nobody will be happy. In a healthy society, all will be happy. It is man's privilege to work for a crime-free society, a society of equal with plenty of sense of belonging to each other, cooperation, etc. It is for this purpose great spiritual teachers came again and again to take man to this path of mutuality, interdependence, cooperation, not conflict, not violence, not crime, not killing. That is where this subject comes as very, very important. Everybody's responsibility is to build up one's life, one's character, this packet of psychic energy that is given to you. Handle it properly. Build up a beautiful character out of it. Make it positive and creative. Who can do it? Only you can do it. Others can help you, suggest things for you. But when evil comes, it becomes very serious. How many distortions of the human psyche take place in the Mahabharata, which you see in the television every week? You will find the king of Drupada became proud and arrogant when his classmate Drona went to him for help. Drona was very poor. They were classmates, and they had promised, anytime you want any help, I am ready to give you. But as soon as he ascended the throne, the man changed. Power has come. Mind has become arrogant and proud, and he insulted Drona. And the whole later tragedy of the Mahabharata begins from there. That insult of Drona by Drupada. So the mind changed, he didn't notice it, and this happened that way. In the Mahabharata there are very instructive stories in this connection. What is happening in our society has been foreshadowed in some of the episodes of the Mahabharata. You take a man, very ordinary, give him some power, then after some time give him a little more power, still more power, until a time will come he will turn against you. The man who gave. That is a common thing. Why? There is no thinking, no discrimination. Buddhi doesn't function at all. We are at the indriya level, sensory level. So there is a very fascinating story told in a fascinating language by the Mahabharata. There was a sage doing tapas in the forest. One dog had somehow come into that ashrama, and the Rishi sage took care of him. Remain here, remain here. So whatever little food he will eat and remain a good dog. After some time, the dog felt, I am frightened by a little ordinary tiger that comes near the ashram. I want to be stronger than the tiger. So he appealed to the sage, I am your faithful servant here. Can you make me unafraid of the tiger? Okay, he said. He took some Ganges water, sprinkled on him, he became powerful. Then the tiger began to run away. No more coming to the ashram, because this fellow has become strong. After some time, another big animal, the lion, was coming and troubling. Again he told the master. He also said, okay, I shall make you stronger. And he became stronger. No lion will come near. In this way, 3 or 4 types of animals, more fierce than the previous one, all of them became afraid of this dog through the blessing of this sage. Now that situation is beautiful. Narration in the Mahabharata. Then what happened? The dog became very powerful. So many animals used to come, now nobody comes, because afraid of this fellow. And one day, sage was in meditation, and this dog felt, I am now all powerful. Only one person is more powerful than me. That is this sage. Let me get rid of him, then I will be supreme. Saying that, he rushed towards that sage to kill him. The sage opened his eyes, took a little water, sprinkled on it. Immediately it became pay, that old dog once again. All his strength is vanished, just like that. Now, that sage had the power to do so. But where is that power today to deal with human beings? When they misbehave with power in their hands, only power is discrimination. My buddhi has been infected by power. Never the Atman. Even then that man is really good within himself, he doesn't know it. The whole functioning is from the lower level. So Krishna is telling all humanity, Yo buddhe paratastu saha. He who is beyond buddhi is the Atman, where this subtlety, immensity, inwardness reach their infinite dimension. That is your nature. Tat Tvamasi, Tat Tvamasi. You are that, you are that. The more people realize this truth, better shall be human society. There is no dogma, there is no creed. It is the science of man in depth, discovered by sages, rediscovered by others, placed before you for your own rediscovery. Not a dogma to be swallowed, not a belief. There is no word for belief in our system. It's a question of experiencing the truth. You are the pure one. You are the infinite one. When you behave in an impure way, know that that is not your true form. You have fallen one step lower. Don't fall lower still. Arrest it on the buddhi level, manas level, or sensory level. In this way, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is giving us this philosophy of man in depth, by which we shall live in this life a life of fulfillment, make others also live a life of fulfillment. That is the goal of human evolution. International peace, international happiness and welfare, these are all possible because they are all present in man. Only he must carry his evolution beyond the organic level to higher ethical, moral, spiritual level. To stimulate him in doing this, teachers such as Krishna appeared again and again. And so, this word para is very important. Usually we translate it higher. But what does this higher mean? Higher can mean there is a spatially higher. Put it upstairs to become higher. That's not in that sense. So in one sentence, you can give the whole of this subject, and that is, human energy resources are organized on an ascending scale of subtlety, immensity, and inwardness. That's a beautiful sentence coming from Shankaracharya. Human energy resources are organized on an ascending scale of subtlety, immensity, inwardness. That ascending scale rises to its fullest when you come to Saha, that infinite self, the Atman, the Shiva that is hidden in all of us. This is the profound truth Krishna conveys to all humanity. Crime is a serious problem in our society today, in all international societies also. Crime and violence, plenty going on. How can you live a happy life when there is crime and violence around you? How can you sleep soundly when you know any day a robber may come and rob you away or even kill you also? It is good that people know this science more and more. This land of India, known for its peace and harmony, has become a land of crime and violence. Never happened before, because we never had anything to do with this subject. We were only seeing out all the time. Only parak nature of world we studied. The pratyek nature we ignored all the time. Now the time has come to turn a little attention to that pratyek dimension and discover the tattvam that is there. This tattvam, that tattvam. Both are tattvam. There is only one infinite truth appearing as external or internal. That is the language of Vedanta. That is expounded in a great verse in the Mandukya Upanishad Karika, of Gaudapada. It's a wonderful verse. I am quoting that verse. Tattvam adhyatmikam drishtva tattvam drishtva tu bhashyatah tatvibhuta tadarama tattvad aprachyuto bhavet. Having realized the tattvam that is hidden within your own self, tattvam adhyatmikam drishtva tattvam drishtva tu bhashyatah. Also realize the tattvam that is hidden in external nature. Tatvibhutah. You become one with the truth. Tadaramaha. You take delight in that truth. Tattvad aprachyuto bhavet. You never fall down from that great truth. You become absolutely insured against all evil once for all. That is the sloka of Mandukya Upanishad Karika. Tattvam adhyatmikam drishtva tattvam drishtva tu bhashyatah tatvibhuta tadarama tattvad aprachyuto bhavet. See the word tattva coming in there. Tasya bhavas tattvam. The truth of a thing is called tattva. I see the earth as flat. That's what the senses report to me. What is the tattvam about it? Tattva means it is a globe. That is the tattvam regarding the earth. Similarly, the earth is going round the sun. That is the tattvam. So it looks as if sun is going round the earth. So there is such a thing as search for tattvam. That may be in the external world. It also can be internal world. Ultimately, tattvam is one. External, internal have no meaning so far as tattvam is concerned. Just like the earth is surrounded by only one ocean. But for convenience sake, we call it Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. But ocean is one and not many. And so, external tattvam, internal tattvam. These are purely for purposes of study and research. Tattvam itself is one, infinite, non-dual. That is the direction of human evolution, says Vedanta. Are you going towards tattvam? What a beautiful idea. Towards the truth. Search for truth. The whole of life becomes search for truth. What a beautiful conception. Vedanta has proclaimed this as the goal of human life. Know the truth. Jesus said, thou shalt know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The whole life is devoted to truth. This country was devoted to truth, dedicated to truth by the constitution makers 40 years ago. That is why it took the title, Nato, Satyameva Jayate, truth alone triumphs. Today it is completely disappeared. Truth never triumphs, only untruth will triumph. Out of this hell, we have to convert India into a land where people seek truth and truthful life, not a false life, not a fake life, but a true life. Nothing to hide. You can dance freely, spontaneously, but spontaneity and naturalness in life cannot come until life is built on to truth. The one who stole a bundle of thread, a weaver woman, and her host who was feeding her, both said, let us dance. He wanted to find out whether she has stolen that thread, because he found the thread is missing. He has come as a guest, but when he went to the kitchen, came back, found the thread is missing. Certainly, this lady has taken, but she is my guest. How can I tell her that you have stolen? He contrived this method. Today is a wonderful day, we have met together. Let us dance. So both of them stood up, started dancing. This host woman danced very freely, spontaneously, like all dances are. But the other woman danced only with one hand always here, just like this going on. She said, what are you doing? That's not a way to dance. See, how am I dancing? Hands up, spontaneous, natural. Then only you enjoy dancing. That's for sure. I know only one hand dancing, not two hand dancing, she said, because she has done something wrong. So, Ramakrishna said the story and said, learn to dance both hands up, happy, spontaneous, nothing to hide, honest, truthful. A wonderful idea. Real human greatness comes there. When that will catch on in India, then that motto will shine more and more. Today it is all very, very shabby, full of ink and all that on it. Nobody reads clearly, Sakti Meva Jayate. It will shine once again when this truth will come to us. What we read is not light, but a true light, not a false light, not a fake light. A lot of false light going on around us. Psychology will tell you about it. Very often they deal with people with so many complicated minds because their life is false. There is no simplicity. There is no truth in it. That change will come. And so in this sloka, the verse, we have been given the direction that infinite Atman, our true self, is to be relied upon. Bring the energy of that Atman to deal with your day-to-day problems. And so Krishna concludes this third chapter with that last verse, 43rd verse. Evam buddhet param buddhya samstabhyatmanam yehivatram mahabaho kamarupam durasada. The language is military language you will find here. Krishna was a military general. Arjuna also is a military general. They use military language here. Thus, evam buddhet param buddha, realizing that truth which is beyond buddhi. Buddhet param buddha, samstabhyatmanam atmana, disciplining his mind by the self. Yehi satrum, conquer your enemy. Which is that enemy? This tendency to crime and evil. Yehi satrum, mahabaho, kamarupam, durasadam. That craving in you, which made you do all sorts of evil, made you commit all sorts of crimes, that kama esa, krodha esa of the first verse, that overcomes this kind of continuous outward tendency. I want this, I want this, I want that. That attitude. Overcome that. Yehi, conquer. Satrum, your enemy. What are the enemy? Kama and Krodha, you said earlier. Yehi Satrum, Mahabaho, Kamarupam, Durasadam, difficult to conquer. Durasadam, difficult to conquer. You need all your energy, muscle for that purpose. Don't take it easy. Don't take it lying down. Nobody can become moral by simply sauntering into morality. It's a hard struggle. That struggle gives you energy and strength. So the last sentence is the message to all people in India today. Evam buddhe param buddhva samstadhyatmanam atmana yehi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. Like a general in battle, pointing out that citadel of the enemy there. Go and take charge of it, conquer it. Then the war will end. Similarly, Krishna is telling, go and attack, assault that fortress in which this enemy is lurking. Remove him, destroy him. Then you are free. Then you are free. This is the great battle of Kurukshetra. The actual war is forgotten. We are now concerned with the war in our own life, day to day. How to raise the mind higher and higher when it is going down every day. There's a perpetual war we have to deal with. Krishna is inviting humanity to start this kind of war. Then there will be no tendency for external war at all. You can overcome external war when you take much more serious interest in building up your high character, lifting consciousness from the sensory level to the spiritual level. It is a very, very hard task, but worth doing. And there is nothing impossible. The word impossible has no place in Vedanta. And today, the word impossible is a meaningless word in the context of most impossible achievements of modern science. Discovering the other side of the moon, we have achieved today. Landed on the moon, we have achieved today. Our Voyager is going beyond the solar system. All impossible 50 years ago. Today it is all possible. Similarly, this also is absolutely possible. Many have done it. You can also do it. Have faith. I will. I will. I shall. I shall. With that positive attitude, success will come. The title of that book in America which I read, Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, PMA. Positive mental attitude is called PMA. The other is NMA, negative mental attitude. I can't, I am weak, I am a fool. That attitude cannot help you. I can, I shall. A wonderful idea. When you have that confidence, that faith, more energy comes to you to succeed in your work. I was going in Holland 7 or 8 years ago. Two young people of 23 years took me to a farm. What you call the land taken from the sea. They have started a farm. They wanted me to see one of that. So I went there. On the way there was a ditch, 8 or 9 feet wide. They are young people. They just jumped. After jumping, they looked back to see what is the Swami doing. I looked at it, asked the mind, can you jump it? Mind said yes, and I jumped it. Swami, did you jump it? You jumped it, I also jumped it, I said. The question of confidence, yes, you can, then new energy will come to you. So Krishna says, have that positive attitude. The infinite Atman is your true nature. This weakness is only accidental. You are not weak, you are strong. So in the whole world's literature, Gita and the Upanishads are the only two great books where you find this subject constantly emphasized. Strength, fearlessness. Strength, fearlessness. No place for weakness. No place for fear. This subject will come again and again in the later chapters of the Gita. We shall take up the next chapter, 4th chapter, next Sunday when we meet here. Before we spend a minute in silence and meditation, I have got 3 small announcements to make. One, the Sitarama Gunagrama Punyaranya Viharinau Vande Vishuddha Vijnanau Kavishwara Kapishwarau. We salute the Kavishwara Valmiki, the Kapishwara Hanuman, who constantly wander about in the garden of Sita Rama's name and glory. To them be our